Madeira is one of the hottest housing markets in the city. Here's the reason why you want to be there.
Josh, thank you for coming.
It's my first podcast. I listen to them all the time. It's finally be
we
on
actually
one.
don't record this. This is just a way to get you in here so we
okay.
can talk a little bit about this
Okay.
stuff. No, we appreciate having Josh over here. If you guys don't know Josh Blatt, he is the president, or what would be your title at John Henry Homes? Since you and your brother.
Co-founder.
Yeah, the man.
The man.
The man
No,
over
John
there?
and I are. John's the man.
John's the man.
Yeah.
All right. So John's his brother. You guys have been in business for a long time.
We were just finished up our 25th year. We started
Congrats.
in
Yeah.
1993.
Man, yeah.
And
when you were 14 years old, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
It does not seem like it's been that long. It's
Pretty
been
crazy.
a lot of fun. We've had a great time,
Yeah.
and it's pretty incredible.
It is.
I think when we look back and start looking through some of the pictures of the years that we've been building,
Yeah.
and some of the stuff we've done, it's been a pretty amazing ride.
Well, not to go down this path, but you guys did one of the 24-hour houses with what was the guy's name? Extreme House Home Makeover.
Ty Pennington,
Ty
who's now
Pennington,
all over guaranteed rate.
Yeah.
We did that in 2006. We built
That's
a
pretty cool,
house
yeah.
in 4 days.
4 days.
You
that
can
was
actually still see it. It's on our YouTube channel.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
When we did it, we had the worst, true story, we had the worst weather conditions in the show's history.
Oh, my God.
When we were done, we came back the next day, we're picking up some tools and stuff, and their entire crew is still, they're all sitting around. They're just like, we're like, why are you guys here? Don't you have another show to go to? Like, yeah, we were pretty sure you guys weren't going to be done, so they booked the other crew. We're just stuck here for a week.
Oh, my God. They had to stick around.
They stuck because they literally moved a different crew to the other show.
I saw those photos. Those are pretty impressive. And I think back in the day, that was when you were working. Becky, our operations manager, has been working with you guys forever. So we've kind of been admiring from afar for a long, long time.
Yeah,
with you guys,
Becky was there. I think Drew, Drew was out there.
Drew is our videographer over here, the
who
guy
you
that
can't
makes us
see.
look all pretty and good on here.
The man behind
Okay.
the camera.
Exactly.
So
But
that was quite an experience. Sometimes I
was
look
fun.
at the pictures of. There's a picture of our plumber outside the house, their whole crew in the mud, and the mud was seriously, they're all like this deep in mud.
Incredible.
And that was probably one of the best spots to be standing outside of the house.
Are you kidding me? Because it was just
it was miserable.
sog everywhere. You couldn't do anything. Oh, my God, yeah. Well, now you guys build houses in like 10 days, right? 10 or 12.
10 days. I mean, the
Plus
problem
a
is
few
everybody comes in once in a 4-day house.
It's the truth. We'd sell a heck of a lot more houses if we could turn them pretty quickly.
If we could build
like
a house
that.
in 4 days again, that would be incredible.
It'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Maybe we just need a sponsor by CBS or NBC or whoever it was to get all those manufacturers in there,
ABC,
that kind of
they're
stuff.
there, right?
Sorry, but okay. So we're here to talk actually about Madeira. You guys are we were just talking about the number one builder in Madeira because you guys have the most lots, the most opportunities. And you guys have been doing a great job. We've had that privilege of working with you guys over the past couple of years to come in that market, and it's been a lot of fun.
And
so
likewise, working with you guys, it's been a really good partnership between the two of us.
Yeah, we've been having a good time over there and just building. And the product's changed, and you've developed it just specifically for Madeira, which is really cool. And the reason we're doing this today is not just for you guys to hear us talk, but it's to share some good insight into Madeira and what's going on over there, because it's changed since you got in 3 or 4 years ago. It's changed dramatically, just from a stance of the comprehensive plan, the zoning, and I say dramatically. Any change is big and it impacts you guys as a builder. So that's kind of the reason we're here more than anything else, is just to kind of share some insight into what's going on. So you guys started off obviously with one opportunity back. What was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
3 or 4 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago, and now have about 10 to 12, and with 4 houses going on right now, I believe. So it's been great, and you have the Treetop subdivision, of course. So I guess the first thing I want to kind of hit on is how active do you see the Madeira market right now compared to everything else you're seeing?
So first of all, we love the Madeira market, and I think you're seeing this across the city that it's not just markets like Madeira, but you're seeing these infill neighborhoods with. That have some sort of a downtown. They've got a great school district. They're somewhat accessible to the highway and convenient to downtown. We're seeing that people really want to be closer into town.
Absolutely.
So that's why we like Madeira. And Madeira has been very active. It's obviously got an incredible school district. It's got it's a great community.
It's got the walkability. It's got pretty much everything. If you designed a community, you'd almost design it just like Madeira, right?
So, by the way, an interesting thing I learned, which I did not know about Madeira until recently, it's 1 square mile.
Oh, interesting.
It is literally it is 1 square mile.
And there is a ton of housing stock in Madeira compared to anywhere else. If you go to Montgomery, I mean, you look at obviously Madeira's all these Cape Cods and these smaller lots. You jump over to Montgomery where it's average at 80 to 100 foot. So the housing stock, as far as being concentrated, is large. That's why there's so much differentiation between product.
But I think that's part of the appeal to Madeira because it's 1 square mile, because it's compact.
Sure.
It's very walkable. I mean, anytime you drive, I mean, it amazes me. Anytime I drive through there, even in the wintertime, there's always people out walking. There's people running. There's people pushing strollers. I mean, it's young people. It's old people. It's a very mixed group.
It is.
And it's got a great feel to it. And then throughout the year, they've got all the great programs that they do. They've got the street fair. They got the farmers market. They've got a summer concert. They've got the bike race that goes through there. I mean,
it's the school auction that's coming up this week. Yeah, you're sponsoring, of course. Like I throw that little nugget in there, but no, that's which is they do everything. I mean, the sense of community is incredible, isn't it? And just with that, and it's I think I remember the first lot I think we had, or one of the first few lots was on Jeweler. This was going back 5 or 6 years ago when we just started dabbling in Madeira to see what was going on, and Buckhead was there doing a whole lot of business, and Buckhead, hey, they've done a ton of homes over that way, and people love some of their product. The product looks great. They've done a good job. But we were over there and we did this one on Jeweler, and I remember they have an Easter egg hunt down there. And one day we came over there, and it was maybe the weekend before or after Easter, and there was kids everywhere. You're walking down the street. It was hundreds, if not thousands, of people walking around. So when we pulled up, we're like, this is the kind of place we want to be in, which was pretty cool. So I think that's the big thing. And I actually pulled some numbers up, not to change too much and get off gear a little bit. But the craziest part about this is for a tear-down neighborhood, which infill tear-downs, unfortunately, there's no land there. Right. So we have to buy houses. And we'll get into the tear-downs in just a second because there's a lot that goes into that, especially perception-wise, right? But if you look at it, from 2018, there was 21 sales of just brand new homes over there. And then you come in, 19 was a little slower because it's getting harder to find these lots. Cost is going up a little bit. There was 15 sales. And then currently this year started off really strong with already 1 sale and 6 pending right now. So it looks like we're back into 2018 numbers almost to some degree, which is fantastic. So it's been strong. And the reasons being most likely what you said, obviously, walkability, proximity to downtown, just the general sense of community, which is really cool.
I mean, I think if you look around, we've seen a tremendous demand from people who want to be in Madeira, and I think there are some people, it's pushing a price point for them.
Sure is.
And what you're seeing, and you're talking about the housing stock, so the price point is pushed up for the teardowns, and it's almost reaching a point where they're too expensive to tear down. I mean, it's a lot of these houses are really obsolete, they're not functional, and they're beyond repair, but they're pushing a price point that you can't make the numbers work where you can offer a house that's affordable for Madeira.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I know obviously tear down sometimes is a bad word, which in reality it's the evolution of a home. Not all homes are meant to be up for 100 and 200 years. Especially, I think it was a lot of, I'm going to probably butcher this history, but World War II, people come back, they have to build all these Cape Cod homes, and they're building them up very, very fast. And unfortunately, they're just a little bit smaller, and the functionality isn't ideal. Now, you can still add on and do that sort of thing, but you made a good comment before we started about a lot of these houses that you've gone through, they're just beyond repair. It's not feasible.
Right. So it's all 1950s housing stock, and post-war, it was put together very quickly. Most of these plans are just functionally obsolete. They don't represent the way you want to live. They have low ceilings. The basements you can't finish the basements. The height in the basements are, it's low height in the basement. The basements are moist.
Yes.
So if you want to add space, if you want to put a finished basement, which is one of the most popular options in a house right now, you can't do it in these houses.
Yeah.
They usually have 1 bathroom, maybe 1.5, and when you're trying to add another bathroom to it, it's tight. So it's really, really difficult for a family to move into one of these and live in them.
Especially, more than 1 or 2 kids. They're very, very tight as far as living space, and then the garages are another issue, and the lots are already tight, so you can't cram. Adding on is a difficulty as well. Adding up sometimes. I mean, some people are doing a great job renovating some of the Cape Cods, but typically they're not in the shape that the ones you buy.
So the ones we've bought, the amazing thing is, last summer my daughter was looking to stay in town for the summer. She's out of college, and she went to live by herself, and I'm like, hey, we got all these houses that we are going to tear down. Well, we can put you in one of these. And we started to walk through them, and I'm like, there was not one of these houses I would let her live in. They all had leaks, mold, and the big thing is the ones we've torn down have been not just functionally obsolete, they haven't been maintained, and they've really been beyond the point of repair. I mean, they've really, it's sad in some cases. These have been houses that the same person's lived in. Unfortunately, we've seen situations where they either passed away or they've gone to a nursing home, and there's been a point where all maintenance was just stopped. Some of these houses, I mean, the condition in these things is really sometimes it's difficult that you don't even want to walk through them, that we don't want our...
We've had a few experiences like that where it's dangerous.
Where we don't let our employees go into them. Like we go in, we get the water shut off, which we have to, and then we lock the house and go back out till demo because they're just not safe to be in.
And we should also say we go through probably, for every one you buy, there's probably one or two that you don't because either the price point is off, the house is in too good a shape, or there's just situations where maybe it's better suited for a remodel. So by no means do we buy every property you go through and say, I'm going to tear this guy down. And you look at what's best for it.
To your point, a good house that can be remodeled is going to command a higher price,
Correct.
which is going to be too expensive to tear down.
Yes.
So the condition of the house really dictates it. And the people who are calling us to buy a house, they know that their house is functionally obsolete. They know it's beyond. They like the fact that there's no inspection from us.
Yes.
Because they know that their house is not going to survive an inspection.
And the quick close. I mean, you turn that over very, very fast. So, I mean, if somebody wants to close in a week or 2 weeks, you guys can move on it very fast, which is, I think, one of the reasons why people call you guys. It just makes it easy for everybody, and you don't have to get too many people involved. Your due diligence is quick. So that's really nice. Not to make a commercial for why to sell to you guys.
It's a great deal for the people who sell our houses to us. We make it really easy for them.
And you're paying market value. That's one thing I probably want to kind of hit on a little bit because I think there's segments of Madeira. If you look at it, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't talk in the mic, so I got to stay a little closer for this. I got you, Drew. But if you're looking at
Mike's getting dirty looks from the camera.
As he's looking down, he's writing bad notes because he's angry with me. He's going to have to edit a little bit more. But so you look at the different space and segments in there. You have the Osceola through Jeweler section of Madeira, and those ones range anywhere from 150 to 180, something like that. So, sales price. And obviously, as you get closer to Jeweler, certain streets are I don't want to say better than others, but certain lots can be better than others for sure. So it's different on each one, sidewalks, trees, all that kind of good stuff. Then you jump over to the Mingo, the larger lots that get up to 75, 80 feet of width, and those ones are commanding probably 200 to 225. Yeah. Would that be right around there? And then, of course, the south side, Summit, Fowler, that little section that's on the, what would that be, the west side of Miami right there? Yeah. So you have that section, which is a little pocket that's in very much demand. You have a house you're building over on Mayfield right there.
And what's crazy is those little tiny lots off South Side, they're 50-foot lots, command the highest prices. You talk about people wanting walkability, wanting to be close to the downtown.
It's incredible.
You look at South Side, and some of the highest prices in Madeira are on 50-foot lots.
It's incredible.
And then you go over to, we're building one on Mingo right now, gorgeous house, gorgeous lot.
Sold home, yeah.
Great street, great neighborhood. And we're building a bigger house with a 3-car garage. And we're getting the same prices they're doing for a smaller house on South Side.
It's incredible, right? The square footage.
It's incredible.
That's one of the things that why we loved working together in the beginning is because you can offer so much more value cost per square foot than a lot of people. Because we didn't really talk about it, but you built in the burbs for a long time, and that was and then you guys came in because you saw the opportunity and the need for people that want a little bit more square footage, and that you could utilize your platform and your design center, your program essentially in the market. So, which is incredible. It's a seamless process, which is the beauty of it.
And we've seen a shift with our buyers. I mean, our buyers used to all come from Oakley, Hyde Park, downtown. They were having families, and they come out to the suburbs. And now we're seeing a demand where we still have people want to come out to the suburbs. They want the big lot, they want the big house, and they want the the pool house and the different neighborhood amenities. But we've also seen a lot of people who really, like we were talking about earlier, they want that neighborhood that's closer to downtown. They want the little they want the neighborhood that's got their own,
everything,
its own, has its own downtown. And
what's the little gelato place you were telling me about?
La Grassa.
La Grassa. I always forget the name of it. I know you know some people over there, but you're a big proponent of it.
You're not to plug somebody, but for those of you listening, if you haven't been to La Grassa, check it out.
Yes. I've gotten a coffee there, but no gelato.
We were big Raiders fans, and I got to tell you, since he opened up. It's rare that you'll find me going to Graders, but
what's close by to your house because you live just outside of Madeira.
But Graders is close. It's great.
That's true.
He makes everything there. He's doing a terrific job. The quality is great. He has an Instagram account. Every Sunday he has a flavor of the week. He posts. My son follows it. He's always, Dad, we gotta go to La Grassa tonight. They have this tonight. Like,
so you guys, I've heard great things. So you guys got to go over there and check this place out.
It's fantastic.
That's the beauty of Madeira and all these
makes.
sounds,
By the way, I don't know if you haven't had it yet, but the chocolate sorbet.
Delicious.
So I have them in my freezer. My sisters were in town, and every time somebody took a spoonful of it, their initial reaction was, "Wow!"
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take my daughter over there. She's a sucker for this stuff. Plus, gelato is supposed to be the healthy ice cream, right? To some degree, who knows if it really is.
I weigh 5 or 6 pounds more since it opened.
Yeah, it's all right though. Hey, that's good. And then you got Ottavola next door, so you can go Ottavola to eat some, get a pizza, then go on over there,
just
make it a heck of a Friday night. Yeah, that's what we're seeing from everybody. Is it's funny. We talk to people that work downtown or High Park, wherever they work, and they say, "Hey, Mike, I don't want to go any further north than Cross County Highway." Yeah. And then sometimes people will say Pfeiffer. But Madeira fits in that little section where you can be off, Kenwood exit if you're coming back home. You don't get into the traffic of the next stop up, and that's just it. I mean, you want all these conveniences, but you still don't want to sacrifice the quality of life and the ability to go and enjoy yourself.
I mean, just think outside of Madeira. So you've got A Tavola, you've got La Grassa, you've got Walgreens, you have CVS, you have Starbucks, you have
Brugger's,
Ferraris. You've got Brugger's, and you can drop down into Marymount, and you got a movie theater there. You've got the Quarter, you've got the Exemplar. You can drop down into Milford, and you've got 20 Bricks. I mean, you've got so many different restaurant choices. You've got every convenience you need. You've got the banks there, and then you're 2 miles from the mall.
Oh, exactly.
You've got the Kroger's right there, so everything you need. Now you've got the Whole Foods that opened up in the the
my wife
collection.
works right next door there. That place is incredible. Yeah.
So I mean, if you think about from a Madeira aspect, everything you could possibly ever need is within 2 miles.
Totally, it's incredible. Yeah. It really, and that's I think why the draw is. That's why these numbers are saying what they're saying. And actually, that's a good segue into our next.
And let me just add one other thing: the Madeira's invested a lot of money in walkability.
Yes,
and I think that's so. As you drive through Madeira, if you're on Dawson, if you're on Hosbrook, on all their major arteries, they've been putting in sidewalks. I mean, they've done some projects. I'm still amazed at the sidewalks they put in on Hosbrook.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it took a lot of work to get those.
All the infrastructure they put there with the streets and the medians and that sort of thing. And because that's the dividing line between Madeira and Sycamore Township right there. It's impressive what they've done, and that actually is even better segue into the comprehensive plan, because that's one big thing that's been a change over the past. I think it was August they actually implemented that. And what it is, if you guys don't know, so Madeira spent a year trying to design a comprehensive plan for the future of the community. So they put this together, and it's on their website. So we encourage you to take a look at it, because it really kind of showcases how much they want to invest, what they want to change. It goes into the commercial district and what they want to have there, and how they can make it better than it is today. It goes into the real estate side of it, where you're looking at tear downs and new builds, how to control those in a way that is in line with what they want to do, how to incentivize rehabs. We were just talking a little bit about it. One of the things they're pushing, and we had talked to Paul Yankee about the tax abatement side, is trying to incentivize some of the really good homes over there to encourage rehabs over there. And we're all for it. I mean, anything to improve the area. Right. And really, it's to keep people that are there, but offer different types of housing stock. So if you're an empty nester and the house that you're living in isn't conducive for your way of life, how can you stay in the community? Right. Or if you want to come in, or you have a family and you want to go to the next notch up in a different type of house, how do you offer that opportunity? So they have changed within that, and I don't know if it's exactly with the comprehensive plan, but they've changed the zoning a bit. So, and I want you to talk a little bit about the setbacks, and then also talking about the percentage of what you can build, because I think they're trying to control and regulate a little bit about what can be built, and they're getting some input from you as builders because they want to make the right decisions, but it's changed things a little bit. So why don't we talk about that, and not in a positive or negative way, just talk about being objective as far as what's going on.
So Madeira, they've been proactive with it, and they've been trying to deal with. You have two groups of people. You have people who want to maintain the 1950s charm of Madeira, and there's the second group that wants Madeira to evolve and respect the charm, respect its heritage and its character, but wants to replace dated housing stock.
Sure.
And
it's tough to be in the middle to try to kind of tread the line.
And I think it's the council, the planning commission, the city manager, the building department. Everybody's had a tough time because there's a lot of pressure, and I don't think I've ever been in a community where the people on each side are very forceful and very strong-willed in their opinions.
Sure,
and really have not been willing to give. But I think Madeira's done a pretty good job balancing that. From our aspect, from a building aspect, they do have the lot coverage ratio, which is Depending on the district, typically you can only build on about 28% of the lot. So
Okay.
it restricts the size of house you can build, but the plans we've been building will actually work out really well for these.
Sure.
They've got height requirements, and a lot of the old 50 stock are their Cape Cods or story and a halves, so they don't want the 2 stories towering over them.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
our houses in the certain districts are limited in height,
Mm-hmm.
but then they work with you. We have a neighborhood that Treetops, which is in
Sure. Right off
we,
Camargo
we
right
have
there.
we have one lot, just a weird coincidence situation. It's in a different zoning district,
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
and it's actually in a less restrictive zoning district. However, it's got a lower height requirement on the roof.
Yeah.
And so our houses, the house next to it, will have a higher roof pitch
Okay.
because of the different zoning district. And they're like, "Well, can you fix this, please?"
Yeah.
So they're looking at the, they take a lot of time. I mean, the head of the building department is a architect. So he understands both sides of it. He understands design and everything like that. So I think they're doing a really good job working with both parties, trying to accommodate their needs.
That's it's a hard job. Honestly, trying to make sure they take into account what you're doing, also take account all the residents and be respectful of that. But when it comes down to it, making sure that everything, the end result is something that everybody could be happy with and live with, and that's the fun part. And they are very particular. I mean, your job sites have to be super clean, or you're going to call an hour later, which is the beauty of it. I know you're very very. I'll use the word anal because you like your job sites to be very clean, and occasionally contractors don't leave them that way, and you find out after the fact. So that's why I respect you. You're like, hey, no, I got to get on top of this and make sure.
I wish it was only occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
That's what they wanted to build her, though, right?
But it's tough. I mean, it's you're dealing with tight conditions. You have somebody living next door, and
Yes.
it's inconvenient to have construction going next
It
door.
is. It is.
We try to be respectful to the neighbors, and they all have my cell phone number, my brother's cell phone number, and our office number, and our production manager's numbers, and we really. It's not a perfect process, but we do try and do the right thing and try and minimize the inconvenience.
Exactly.
Going back to the comprehensive plan, though, I think as you talk about the effect it has, I think neighborhoods that embrace these and do take it, and well, Madeira is not the easiest place to build, and they do have a lot of rules and regulations. I think the way they go about it maintains the community over the long period of time. In the end, it makes for a better community because they're being very thoughtful in what they're doing. They're not rushing. Some neighborhoods would be thrilled just to have the new construction.
Sure.
Let's just go. Let's have the new construction. Get these houses torn down. And Madeira has been very deliberate in what they're doing. And I think in the end, it makes it a stronger community, and over the next 20, 30 years, will be a better community for it.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, you drive down. Honestly, one of my favorite things about driving down the street in Madeira is that the houses nowadays don't all look the exact same. It's funny because you look at some of the suburban communities, and one of the biggest things that we hear day in and day out is, well, they're all cookie cutter. They look the same. Then you go into Madeira and Montgomery and High Park, and that's the exact opposite. And part of that is because of the new construction that's been added, and part of it's because of the 120 to 130-year-old houses, along with the 50-year-old houses. Yeah. So having that, I don't want to say eclectic, but just the charm of the character of each house having its own identity is pretty neat as far as that goes. Yeah. So you want to add to that as you go through. But no, see, this is exactly the kind of stuff we wanted people to hear, just because I think when it comes down to building in Madeira, there's a lot of complexity. So I guess as somebody considers to either sell a tear down or really buy a house in Madeira or somewhere else, what specific tips would you possibly give? If somebody's going to go out there and take a look and say, okay, hey, you're going to look at building a house, what should they consider? What should they be thinking through?
Well, the only thing they should consider is John Henry Homes. I mean, come on.
Exactly. It ends there. Yes, yeah. We'll have the link at the end of this for where to go.
If somebody's got a house to sell and it's not really rehab condition, they should call John Henry Homes.
Sure.
If somebody wants to build a house, no. In all seriousness,
That's right. It's true.
I think for somebody selling a house, I think the question for ultimately is looking at what is the condition of my house. Mm-hmm. Is this house? I mean, if I go in my basement, if I've got cracks, if I've got water, if I've got a original furnace, if I've got a roof that's falling in. Mm-hmm. Is my house destroyed? Mm-hmm. And for that person selling their house, the best thing to do is get an opinion. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we can come out, take a look at it, but
that's why we set up our company.
Right.
Yeah,
and
there's try to get good advice on that.
They can get multiple viewpoints.
Sure.
What's nice with us is if the house is beyond repair, obviously, and it's not just us with any, they don't have to worry about an inspection. They get a quick close, and they can.
Yeah.
It's really convenient for them.
Yeah, exactly.
But if their house is in decent condition, there's a lot of remodelers out there, and there's a lot of demand for Madeira.
Absolutely.
At a price point, and I think you're going to see more. I think you're actually going to see more remodeling going on there.
I think so too.
As a price point for new construction is pushed up, for somebody who wants a nice house in Madeira, the remodeling is going to be an attractive option.
Sure. It's something to consider and get opinions and talk to people.
Yeah, in terms of building, I think we're the largest builder in Madeira, but there's several others. I think we do a great job, and I think you want to do your homework in terms of how long the builder has been in business. Probably the biggest difference between different builders, a lot of builders have the customer carry the construction loan. We do it differently. We customers buy from us. They don't do anything until their final loan, so which makes it a little bit easier. But
that's true. Yeah.
Who owns the lot? We some builders will make the customer buy the lot. But it really, I think for the person looking to do is do your homework, talk to a couple of different builders, understand what their specs are.
Absolutely.
Everybody in there, I think I know most of the builders there.
Sure.
And I think we all do a good job.
Yeah. You're in good company.
We're in good company. There's really nobody there right now that I would say run.
Yeah, exactly. Which is and that's what you want. You want because you want everybody to be elevating the community as far as that goes.
I think as you go and obviously you've heard different horror stories about some of the builders like Montgomery and stuff that especially in the downturn. But the most important thing is for the person, if you're going to build a new house, do the homework, understand who your builder is, how long they've been in business. And
do your research and understand the process
and understand their process,
because when it comes down to it, it's a 6 or 8 month relationship, if not a couple years, because it's not like once you finish building you're gone. You have warranty managers, and things are going to happen. The house is never perfect, so you're going to have to come back and take a look.
No builder's perfect, and you can read a lot of good things about builders, you can read a lot of bad things about them, but the main thing I think is if you look at builders and you look at staying power, people who in generally do a good job are here for long term. And it's funny. I during the downturn, you saw all the builders that had all the stories you heard about them. They all disappeared. Of course, a lot of them have reappeared with new names now.
Sure. Yeah. So you guys been tried and true and been here a long time.
We've been John Henry Homes for 25 years. I've had the same cell phone number. It's easily available.
When you're active on these, you're on the job sites at least once a week going to take a look at it. You're probably more active in Madeira than you are in any other community. You personally, even though you have a team of a bunch of people.
Both John. One of the things we do, we're both actively involved in the company. So we try, like if customers are in the design center doing their selections, we try and pop in and say hello and introduce ourselves. We try and pop into every closing. And it's very rare that one of our customers will not see us at a job site or see us at some point during the process. We love what we do. It's a lot of fun. The customers are great, and it's fun to interact with them. And you just like to, it's an exciting time. First of all, building the house is stressful, but it's exciting. This is going to be, they're picking their colors, they're picking their countertops, and we built a house when. Our daughter was just born, and it's kind of funny. I'm looking at it. You just think, we've been in it for 12 and a half years, and you just think about all the I know you just did, and just all the memories you have in the house, and all the stories, and all the whether it's birthday parties or holidays or family dinners and Thanksgivings, and you realize when somebody's so when you're sitting talking to them, this is in front of them, and it's exciting.
Yeah, you get to see the evolution and kind of how they think they're going to live in the house, and it's never the exact way they think they're going to, but they get to love it and enjoy it and make it their own. That's we're always meeting people when they're building. Most people are looking at some kind of crossroads. They're having kids, or their kids are getting older. It's some change that it's going on in their life, and they're looking to do that. Now, two quick last things. One is, if somebody was going to come today and wanted to build a house, how long would it take for them to get to the process, assuming you had a plan and ready to go?
So typically, if we've got a lot and we've got a plan, we're looking at about 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
8 months
so
from start to finish.
Build times right now are we've had a lot of conversations about this, and I think anybody out there listening, if you've done work in your house or you've tried to get work in your house, I think I hear this every day, multiple times during the day, is we can't get people to show up. We can't find people for just simple work. People promise to come and don't. So the labor market's been tight, and that's been affecting build times, and that's even for the biggest builders. I'm on these national surveys, and I get these reports from, and it's probably the biggest frustration for building right now. But 8 months is
That's
about right.
And that actually led me into the next question is, if somebody doesn't have that much time, you obviously have houses you're building right now. So you have to try to solve that problem.
Yeah, and so we've been trying. So one of the things we've been doing is we've invested a lot of money in quick delivery houses, and we've tried to really anticipate. We've got a pretty good feel from talking to our customers what they're looking for, especially in Madeira. I mean, there's we have a pretty good feel for what people want in the houses. So we're trying to keep 2 or 3 quick delivery houses at any given time.
Yes.
So I think we've got 3. We have 1 complete right now in Treetops, and we've got 3 going. We've got the one on Mayfield. We've got one on Thomas, and then we're getting ready to start. We're actually digging one on Ayuka next week. I
say any day now because permits just came back, which is
Yeah.
exciting. And then you're finishing up the one on Mingo as
And-
well. So you have a lot of action going on around there. So
And then we just picked up 2 more sites. So
yes,
and part of the problem when you do the teardowns is there's a lot of upfront work.
Yeah.
So we're getting the upfront work done now, even though we're getting the houses torn down, we're getting the surveys done. So it speeds up the time before somebody comes to us and looks at one of our sites. Our time is a little bit quicker because we've got that work done.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's probably what any buyer, if they're getting started, if they have the time to build, start with looking at the lots. See what streets you like and see what lots you like. Because that's people will call us and we have the packet of information we can give them, but really the lots where it starts. The floor plan, you can make changes and you can do whatever you want for the most part within the reason of the zoning code, but start with the lot because the lot you can never change. You can always change some details on the houses. So, well, this is awesome.
And now we got some great lots right now.
You guys do.
We have
Those 2
found
lots on Jeweler that you just picked up are fantastic.
Jeweler, the Thomas, but the one on Rita.
Rita's awesome. Yes.
So.
Yeah. So we're excited about this. So if you are looking to build a house, you owe it to yourself to look at John Henry and take a look. Anything else you want to plug while we're here? While we got everybody?
No, I just it's fun being here. It's fun talking about it. It's I guess should we plug La Grassa again?
La Grassa,
just
exactly.
Go out. I'm telling you, if you've not been to La Grassa,
yes, it's a good idea.
The guy who owns it, I grew up with him. He's a great guy, but honestly, he said the product is.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yes. So we'll go next time. We'll do a podcast at La Grassa.
That's
and
right.
Enjoy that stuff. So, well, thank you guys for listening to us, Josh. Thank you so much. This was fun. You guys take care. Bye, y'all.